Hello, this is Dr.S.Selvalakshmi, the Assistant Professor of Physics, the Standard 5X Rajaratnam College for Women, Sivakasi. In this video, we are going to see about fuel cell. On seeing this video, you will be able to know the importance of fuel cell, compare battery and fuel cell, describe the working principle of fuel cell, and identify the applications of fuel cell. Now see this picture. We see that one side of a picture is totally polluted and the other side of the picture is a pleasant, green, pollution-free environment. Always we wish to have an environment which is pollution-free. So what is the reason for pollution? And what the main issue that our earth is facing is global warming, and pollution is the main reason for global warming. So pollution is caused due to the combustion of fuels which emit carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide and other nitrogen oxide gases. So in order to reduce the combustion of fossil fuels, we need to find an alternate. So there comes the fuel cell. So in order to create a pollution-free environment, we have to seek fuel cell for the vehicles which emits no harmful emissions. So what is a fuel cell? Fuel cell is an electrochemical device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. So the same process is done by another device in our daily use, and that is a battery. So what is the difference between a battery and a fuel cell? A battery is similar to a fuel cell, but it has a limited amount of fuel or chemicals to burn and give out electrical energy, whereas a fuel cell produces continuous electrical energy as far as we supply hydrogen and oxygen as fuels to the fuel cell. So let us now see the differences between a fuel cell and a battery. Fuel cell is an electrochemical device which converts chemical energy directly into electrical energy, whereas a battery is an electrochemical device that stores chemical energy and then it converts it into electrical energy. The fuel cell produces electrical energy for a long period of time, whereas a battery produces electrical energy for a short period of time. So a fuel cell, when it is continuously supplied with a fuel and oxygen, which it works for a very long time, whereas a battery contains a limited amount of reactants and hence it works for a short period of time. So now let us see about the timeline of fuel cell. Fuel cell was described by Humphrey Davy in 1801, but he devised it. So that principle was taken over by Christian Schoben, and he published a paper about the reactions in fuel cell. So these persons were the pioneers of fuel cell, and later on in 1842 William Grew invented a gas voltaic cell, which is the prototype of the first fuel cell. So later on many scientists worked on the fuel cell with different types of fuels and different types of electrolytes. So later on in 1959 the first proton exchange membrane fuel cell was designed. So this proton exchange membrane fuel cell was used by NASA for space mission. So it was used by the Apollo shuttle. And later on in 1960s, DuPont developed Nafion, which is the polymer membrane used for this PEM fuel cell. And this fuel cell technology was later adopted by various companies for developing vehicles. So in 1970s, while there was a great oil crisis prompted, they found out this fuel cell technology as an alternative, and they followed the principles of fuel cell to design the vehicles and to produce a pollution-free environment. Now let us see the components of fuel cell. Just like a battery, the fuel cell also consists of an anode, a cathode, an electrolyte, and a load to complete the circuit. In addition, the fuel cell also consists of anode catalyst, cathode catalyst, a gas diffusion layer, and a continuous feed of fuel and a continuous feed of air or oxygen. Now let us move on to the working principle of fuel cell. The fuel is oxidized on the anode and the oxidant is reduced on the cathode. The ions are transported from one electrode to the other through the electrolyte to combine with their counterparts. The electrons travel through the external circuit producing the electrical current. How does the fuel cell work? Fuel, or which is the hydrogen, is first transported to the anode of the cell. Anode reaction splits the fuel into proton and electron. The protons pass through the electrolyte and reaches the cathode, whereas the electrons cannot pass through the electrolyte, so they travel through an external circuit and generates electric current. The protons and electrons reach the cathode and undergo the cathode reaction. So what is the chemistry behind this technology? Oxidation takes place at the cathode and reduction takes place at the cathode. At the anode of the cell, a catalyst, which is always a platinum powder, is used to separate the proton and the electron in the hydrogen fuel. And at the cathode of the cell, a second catalyst, nickel, is used to recombine the protons, electrons and oxygen atoms to form water, thus creating a potential difference of 0.68 volts. Now let us see the types of fuel cells. So based on the fuel used and electrolyte used, the fuel cells can be classified as alkaline fuel cell, solid oxide fuel cell, molten carbonate fuel cell, solid acid fuel cell, phosphoric acid fuel cell and polymer electrolyte membrane fuel cell. So this table shows the different types of fuel cells and the electrolyte used in those cells, anode gas, cathode gas, which is supplied as fuel and oxidants to those cells, and the operating temperature and efficiency of these different types of fuel cells. Now let us move on to the applications of hydrogen fuel cells. So where are these fuel cells used? So these fuel cells, they are the alternate for fossil fuels, and hence they are used in vehicles such as cars, trucks, buses, boats and submarines. They are also used in rockets, spacecraft, remote weather stations and military technology as power sources. These fuel cells can also be used as power sources for electronic gadgets such as laptops and smartphones. These hydrogen fuel cells are sources for uninterruptible power supplies. These fuel cell technology has been adopted by different companies and they have produced different electronic gadgets. Bartlett fuel cell powered laptop has been developed, and Fraunhofer company has designed ISE micro fuel cell, and Plug Power have designed a fuel cell to power the highway road sign, and Plug Power has also designed a fuel cell to power the video cameras and RFID scanners. So this fuel cell technology has been adopted by the most famous car companies like Hyundai, Kia, Chevron and Ford. Mercedes-Benz has also developed a fuel cell bus, and these buses have been running in London for the past 2 years, and almost 30 fuel cell buses are being running in the streets of European countries. And similarly, Toyota company has also designed a fuel cell technology e-bus in which there is no nitrous oxide emissions or anything else, so it creates a clean environment. Casio company has also designed a smallest fuel cell for the use in laptop PC, and the polymer electrolyte fuel cell can power a typical laptop computer for 8 to 16 hours. The Samsung Electronics also developed a laptop PC fuel cell using 100 cc of methanol solution, enabling continuous usage for more than 10 hours without recharging. Let me summarize the whole concept of fuel cells. The fuel cells are referred to as continuously operating batteries. Fuel cells are zero pollution power generators. Fuel cells use hydrogen gas which is available in air and can be produced in secondary ways such as electrolysis of water. Therefore, fuel cells are economical and there are no difficulties in manufacturing them. It does not cause harmful gas emissions and thus it is considered environmentally friendly. Hope this video has given you a knowledge about fuel cell. So in the next video we will see about the different types of fuel cells in elaborate. Thank you.